Okay, so at Omni, we have what's called a pitch platform, which is a chance for you to present your business to our network and to the people that attend in our community. One of the things you get told when you go networking, you get these opportunities, whatever you do, don't talk about your business. Let's get to know you. Well, I think going to a place on a regular basis and clicking with people is a byproduct of networking, not the necessarily drive. It's a byproduct and it does get you business. But what I'd rather know is what you do, how you do it, and can I trust you to recommend you to my close and personal contacts. If you want to talk about butterflies, all we know is you know a shed load about butterflies. What we don't know is what you do, how you do it, and can we give you referrals from our network. So today we've got Marce. Marce, I'm going to put everybody on mute, so you'll have to unmute yourself to get started. Okay, and the floor is yours, mate.
Thank you. Let me share my screen. Here we go. Wow, good morning, everyone. We're talking about Colucci's, but first let me tell you about me. I don't do butterflies, but I did want to be a musician when I was younger. I played in a lot of bands. Unfortunately, my career path took me somewhere else. I meandered around different things, worked for technology companies, telecom companies, software companies, marketing, had my own business for a little while in that field as well. And then fell upon wines. What better thing to have than wines as your business, people say. I'm going to show you two numbers. The first one is 10,000. Does anybody know what that number refers to? Okay, I'll tell you. 10,000 is the number of different grape varieties there are in the world used to produce wines. Staggering number, really. I'll show you another number. 6. You know what that number refers to? I'll tell you, 6 is the average number of wines that people in the 4 largest English-speaking countries can name. So you can see there's a huge disparity between the number of wines that are produced and the number of wines that people can name, which tends to imply that they always go to the same thing. And that's where we come in. We want to expand people's palates and really bring them more types of wines so that they can discover more varietals and be more confident when choosing wines with foods. Because wine and food for us is an essential element of enjoying wines, because right wines with the wrong foods or wrong wines with the right foods just doesn't work. So we're on a mission to educate wine drinkers so they can get much more enjoyment out of their wines. And we do this through a number of things. And one of them is our wine tastings. Now, people ask me sometimes, well, how should I store wines? Is, storing important? Well, absolutely is important. If you look at time that you can keep wine, optimal time, if you keep it at optimal wine storage conditions, you can keep it for a fairly long time, depending on the variety. However, if you keep it below temperature or above temperature, that wine really isn't going to last very long. So that's one of the important things that we try to convey when we have our wine tastings and we do our education. The other thing is aging. People think, well, all wines can age. I can just buy a bottle of nice Bordeaux and just stick it on the shelf there and, it'll just appreciate in value. Unfortunately not. There's only very few wines that can age for a long, long time. Most wines are sort of meant to be drunk within the first 2 or 3 years of production. So if you've got wines that have been sitting on your shelf for 5, 10, 15, I've had people come to me and go, oh, my uncle gave me some wines that have been sitting in the garage for the last 25 years. Do you think they're any good? Chances are no, especially if they've been sitting in the garage. If they've been sitting at Berry Brothers, perhaps you've got a different story because they store wines appropriately in the right place and conditions, and they will only store wines that have some value. So that's going to be a very important thing. Wine aging isn't something that you can age. Wine isn't something that all wines can age. It has to be a specific type of wine. It has to be, it has a lot to do with the grape variety, the way that it's made, the way that it's aged, and the way that it's prepared in the vineyard. Now, the best time to drink wine, well, anytime really. That's what I say. Just if you feel like drinking wine, drink wine. Why not? As long as you drink responsibly, it's something to be enjoyed. But typically the red wines tend to be the ones that will keep longer. Some of the white wines can keep quite a long time. There are some champagnes that keep quite a long time, but typically you're looking at sort of between 5 and 15 years. There are a few that will go beyond that, but that's the sort of average time length that wines can be kept and stored. So what do? Well, one of the things we'd love to work with is weddings, because we love to help the bride and groom pair the wines with the food. So referrals to weddings and supply for weddings is something that we would be interested in talking to others about. Corporate events. Now, I mentioned that we did wine tastings, and during the lockdown, we did several online wine tastings as corporate events. And we took people through a complete educational process of how the wines were made, where they came from, how the grapes were affected by the climate, because everything plays into the final product, from the ground that they're grown in to the climate that they develop in and mature in, and how the weather affects that from year to year. People say, why are some vintages better than others? Well, it's got a lot to do with the climate and the weather for that particular year. So that's a very important element of wine tasting and wine enjoyment as well. So we supply for wines and wine pairings we do for corporate events. Now, one of the things we've just done is we've partnered with an organization called Prostate. They're a charity, and we are launching a Win Wine for a Year competition again, because we have one of our last winners here on this call today. And the whole idea is that you spend some money with us, and you get entered into the draw. And at the end, actually, that date is wrong now. It's at the end of April. We will have a draw, and the winner will get wine for a year. So a case of wine delivered to their door once a month for an entire year. So we'll send you details of that later on in the wrap up. But what I said was that one of the things that we are now really focusing on as a business is our gifting, because we found that recognition is something that businesses are very much keen on. And what we provide is something that's quite unique and quite bespoke and customized. So we have a range of wine gifts that we offer, and we customize each one of them and personalize the boxes with either the individual's name, the company's name, the company brand, the logo. We can put nice messages inside as well. We have different things that we can put inside. Typically, they come with a bottle of either our prosecco, or we can put whatever wine the client wants inside. We've just done some for a client, and they wanted champagne inside. They wanted Laurent Perrier champagne. So we put that inside the boxes, and that's going out to a number of their clients and staff. And we can do them in a variety of styles, individually presented, and they're all sent out and posted directly from Colucci's. So what kind of companies are we looking for? Ideal referrals for us? Well, events companies, as I said before, corporate marketing, people who are looking to develop or create events for their staff and clients, branded gift suppliers, because we can supply them with this bespoke and customized branded gifts that they may want for their clients. Luxury car showrooms. We'd like to put one of these boxes into every new luxury car that they sell. Wedding venue owners is another one. A lot of times they have the venue, but the people that hire the venue have to bring in their own catering. They have to bring in their own wine, and we can bring in other things as well. It's not just wines. We do a full service drink supply. We can bring wine, spirits, and soft drinks. So that's be ideal for us to partner with somebody who has a wedding venue. Caterers, because they do the food, we do the wine. I partner with one caterer and we do weddings together. So he does all the cooking and I supply the wines and match it with the food that they've chosen. Brides and grooms, of course, because they're the ones who are going to be using the wedding venues and the catering. And the other one is PTA. So we can do our wine tastings as a fundraising event. So we'll organize a fundraising for the PTA and get parents involved, and a portion of the proceeds will go back to the school and to the PTA. So that's another fundraising event that we can organize. So why Colucci's? Well, we provide a very personal service. I speak to absolutely every single individual customer that we work with. We got very much value-based wines, but they're very quality wines. We give us a unique personalized gift service, and we do the food matching. So people come to me and go, what sort of wines would you recommend with